Guess what, guys? It's the last section of the book. We're going to finish Painless Grammar today. I'm so proud of you for finishing the grammar book. I hope you learned a lot about grammar and writing and correct usage. So hopefully you can apply those things in your writing in the future. All right? Let's go ahead and talk about the difference between the way most students write and the way professional writers do their writing. Okay? Here, and this is true, one time a student, this was very early in my teaching career, told me that he never reread what he wrote at all. He just typed it and went with it. And after I picked myself up off the floor, I realized that that probably explained a lot about his writing. So make sure you're not that person. You should always read what you have written and work on correcting it. That's very important. Even if you're taking a really big essay exam where you're crunched for time, you still want to save time to proofread. It's so important. Nobody writes perfectly just the first time. Everybody needs to edit. Okay? All right, here's the average student. Write it, hand it in. Above average student. Write it, edit it, rewrite it, hand it in. Exceptional student. Write it, edit it, rewrite it, edit it, rewrite it, hand it in. Professional writer. Write it, edit it, rewrite it, edit it, rewrite it, edit it, rewrite it, hand it in. So make sure that you leave time for that. That's why you can't write your paper the night before most of the time and have like an amazing paper. It needs time to sit so that you can edit it. So good writing takes time, but it's always worth the effort. Okay, so we're going to look here at this short assignment for social studies class about should man explore space or stay home. Here's the first draft. Some people say it's a real dumb idea for man to explore outer space. They say it's like stupid to spend all that money on astronauts when people here at home need the money. I am of the opinion that this is wrong. We should get to know more about our universe, and after all good stuff has already come from the space program, NASA's invented all kinds of cool stuff. I believe man should continue to explore space and other places that might make life better here on this planet. If I was president, I'd make sure that happens. Whew, that's got some issues, right? So here are some steps. And if I were you, I would keep this like list and use it when you're writing your papers, right? It's a really good list. First, check spelling. This one, for example, has 4 spelling errors, okay? So they have program, needs to be changed to program, plant to planet, and we've got its, okay? It's misspelled twice. Wrong. So there are some spelling errors, and some of those are typos. Some of them they just happen. But check for spelling, okay? Particularly ones that are still words, but are used incorrectly, like the its and theirs and so forth. Okay, check for punctuation mistakes, comma splices, too many commas, too few commas. Should I maybe change some of the punctuation? Is it wrong just completely? Should I use a semicolon, capital letter, so forth? Okay, is there a place where there's not enough punctuation to make it clear? Look for punctuation, right? Check for verb mistakes. Excuse me. If I was president, should be in the subjunctive mood. You're not. So you need to say if I were, okay? And then the last half of that sentence is an awkward mix of verb tenses. It would sound better this way. I'd make sure that happened. All right, check for adverb and adjective mistakes. Real dumb is dumb. Dumb is an adjective, so it needs an adverb to modify it. Really dumb is correct. I would also evaluate the use of dumb. Check for unnecessary words. We've talked a lot about wordiness. To say I am of the opinion that. It's not grammatically wrong, but it's wordy. I believe is shorter, and you might even want to consider taking out I believe completely, right, and just present your opinion. Check for colloquialism, slang, and informal phrases. So consider, does it sound, did I use a cliche? Does it sound informal? Consider that. Okay, check for dumb or illogical phrases. Okay. They say it's stupid to spend all that money on astronauts. You're not spending it just on astronauts, you're spending it on the space program in general. I believe man should continue to explore space and other places that might make life better here on this planet. Okay, do you see what's illogical here? If we've included all of space, in other words, the entire universe, in the first part of the sentence, what other places are there left to explore? So consider if you've been logical throughout the paper. All right, it's all in one paragraph. It's too much. We need to break it up into some paragraphs. So here's the first round of cleanup. Some people say it's a really dumb idea for a man to explore outer space. They say it's stupid to spend all that money on the space program when people here at home need the money. I believe this is wrong. We should get to know more about our universe, and after all, good stuff has already come from the space program. NASA's invented all kinds of cool stuff. I believe man should continue to explore space in an effort to make life better here on this planet. If I were president, I'd make sure that happened. It's better, but we can make it still better, right? Here are some things that you can check in your second round. Look for vague phrases. I believe this is wrong contains the vague word this. How about I believe their objections are wrong? All that money is vague. How much money? You could Google the annual budget for NASA, or you could write billions of dollars for each mission. Okay, look for repetition of words and phrases. Stuff is vague. It's very informal. Cool stuff is even more informal. We've used stuff several times. I would never write the word stuff. I try to stay away from things. Those things are just vague. Okay. Look for weak phrases and sentences. Some people say, what people? How many people? Okay. So a recent survey indicates that 28% of the American population believes. Okay. All right. The word dumb is weak. Let's go for something strong like foolish. Stupid is also weak. And sometimes those words are considered offensive too. So irresponsible, perhaps. People here at home need the money. That's weak. Let's give more information and say that they need improvements in housing, education, and health care. And after all, good technology has already come. NASA has invented all kinds of cool stuff. What technology? What cool stuff? We need specifics. Okay, that will make this paper not so vague. Here's our paragraph after the second round of cleanup. A recent survey indicates that 28% of the American population believes that it's a really foolish idea for man to explore outer space. They say it's irresponsible to spend billions of dollars for each mission of the space program when people here at home are in need of improvements in housing, education, and health care. I believe their objections are wrong. We should get to know more about our universe. And after all, good technology has already come from the space program. NASA has invented all kinds of amazing things. For example, improvements in navigation systems for commercial airliners came from NASA research. NASA invented robots are being used to search for oil reserves far underneath the sea. Better contact lenses, ones that are less likely to harbor bacteria, came from NASA research. Farmers are getting tremendous help from NASA-developed hardware that tells them the right time to pick grapes and other crops. A system based on astronaut spacesuits is in use to help athletes recover from injuries twice as fast as normal. The 360-degree virtual reality photography that we enjoy on the internet was invented by NASA. These are just a few of the remarkable inventions that have come out of the space program and touch our everyday lives in positive ways. I believe man should continue to explore space in an effort to make the life better here on this planet. If I were president, I'd make sure that happened. It's better, okay? But we can still make some improvements. A really foolish idea. Not bad, but it could be even stronger. Let's make these sides clearer. Let's say that people say it's unethical, even immoral, to spend billions of dollars. They say. Say is weak. How did they say? Let's say they're arguing their point, perhaps. I believe their objections are wrong. Wrong is too weak. So we can say, I believe their objections, though well-founded, don't consider the whole picture. We should get to know more about our universe. Why? Okay. It's one of those sentences that sounds okay, but in good writing, ask yourself the why question about every single sentence. If a sentence is too weak to make a clear point that someone would want to read it, axe it. That's what we're going to do with the sentence. Bye-bye, weak sentence. A lot of times students don't like to delete sentences, but sometimes that's important. Okay, sometimes you have to get rid of some of them. Okay, good technology has already come from the space program is too weak. Again, it needs to be strong and clear. How about this? An impressive amount of technology has come out of the space program. It's already enriching our everyday lives, improving our healthcare system, promising environmentally clean oil exploration, and keeping us safer in the skies. To end the piece by saying if I were president and taking this idea no further is weak. The paper fizzles out, trails off into nowhere. If I wanted to write another paragraph about policies I'd implement as a president, that would be fine. But I don't want to go that direction. Instead, I'll rephrase my main idea in order to create a zingy ending. Okay? Here is a third round of cleanup. A recent survey indicates that 28% of the American population believes that it's foolish and even irresponsible for man to explore outer space. These people argue that it's unethical, even immoral, to spend billions of dollars for each mission of the space program when people here at home are in need of improvements in housing, education, and healthcare. I believe their objections, although well-founded, don't consider the whole picture. An impressive amount of technology that has come out of the space program is already enriching our everyday lives, improving our healthcare system, promising environmentally clean oil exploration, and keeping us safer in the skies. For example, improvements in navigation systems for commercial airliners came from NASA research. NASA invented robots are being used to search for oil reserves far underneath the sea. Better contact lenses, ones that are less likely to harbor bacteria, came from NASA research. Farmers are getting tremendous help from NASA-developed hardware that tells them the right time to pick grapes and other crops. A system based on astronaut spacesuits is in use to help athletes recover from injuries twice as fast as normal. The 360-degree virtual reality photography that we enjoy on the internet was invented by NASA. These are just a few of the remarkable inventions that have come out of our space program and touch our everyday lives in positive ways. I believe man should continue to explore space. Whether we land on Mars, whether our children and grandchildren live in space stations thousands of miles away, perhaps those aren't the crucial points. Perhaps the best thing that the space program gives us is a fascinating way to continue to explore all parts of our universe in order to enrich life for everyone on this planet. And I still think even there I still see a couple passive voice verbs. Basically, the editing's never done. But isn't this one better? It's much stronger, right? So consider some of these steps next time you write a paper. How much do you evaluate your writing? How much do you consider how weak or wordy it is? Those are things you need to start doing as you become a stronger, better writer. Again, congratulations, guys! We finished the book!